Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel. We are back to watch another episode of Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton Story. This is episode 4. What happened last time on Queen Charlotte, though? Last time we ended with Charlotte going out into the garden with good old Farmer George and kind of witnessing, like, I don't know if it was like the full extent, but at least a glimpse of his like mental instability. Like he was in the middle of like a mental break. He thought, Venus was like a real physical entity that he could talk to, and she was able to coax him back inside. And I think from this point forward, hopefully she will be a lot more understanding about the way that he is. But we have 3 episodes, including this one, left, so I doubt it's going to be completely smooth sailing. All I know is I'm excited to jump into it. So before we do that, if you end up enjoying this reaction, hit like. That means a lot. Helps my videos get seen more. If you're new here, hit subscribe. Ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. That means a lot to me. Watch other shows other than Queen Charlotte. If you guys like me in general, I watch a ton of stuff of varying genres. So branch out, folks. But other than that, if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider checking out my Patreon that is linked in the description down below. Sometimes I post videos a little bit early over there as well, so if you're interested in that, consider checking it out. But otherwise, let's jump into episode 4 of Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton Story. So, oh, good old Georgie, in his perfectly sculpted rear end.
I just pulled the king out of a hole in the vegetable garden where he was busy discoursing with the sky. Is that usual?
Yeah, Brimsley.
No, Your Majesty, the king has not been himself lately.
What is this? What is happening? What has happened to my husband?
Nothing. He's always been this way.
With the new plows the Dutch are devising.
Excuse me, Your Majesty. It is the Dowager
Gang.
Princess. You are needed at the palace.
Tell her I'm busy in a field.
I'm afraid she insists.
I'm busy in a field.
I believe she has found you a bride.
He's like, what the heck, man? I was having a great time farming and whatnot.
Now I ask, is that all a king is? A royal stud horse trotted out for the chosen mare? Or can a king rule in his own way through practical scientific study, agricultural improvement? Tell me, what would the people prefer, a royal baby or cheap bread?
Right now, they have neither.
Cheap bread would be prime. Would you like
The war
to
has
reconsider
drained
how you
our
talk to your king?
coffers. Now the American colonies threaten to withhold taxes and Parliament revolts.
Gang, gang!
People need
America!
a real king.
Screw Britain.
God knows you have had your
Colonies
obstacles.
rise up!
Sophia Charlotte of Mecklenburg-Strelitz.
A German?
Yeah.
I will not bore you with her qualities, except for the best one. She is on a ship.
She's already coming here.
The betrothal contracts are signed. It is done.
Impossible.
The choice has been made without you.
No longitude, no bride. She loses the moon and she is lost.
Withdraw. Withdraw!
Dang. They can come on that quickly.
The symptoms remain consistent with an inflamed cerebellum. It is time to consider trepanation.
What does that mean?
We need new theories.
Indeed, Your Highness, it may be time to consider what none of your physicians have dared.
Lobotomy.
Merely suffering a disorganization of the nerves.
That sounds much better.
What do they involve then?
Therapy.
Simply talking to him.
Are we to believe this malady can be cured with one's voice?
It depends on the voice.
Yeah, not your guys' voices. Dumb idiots.
You are the King of England. You have armies, navies at your command.
I mean, you're just reminding him of the
command an
responsibilities.
Kingdom. You can command yourself too.
Ooh, what a twist. Not the
You're to
worst
marry
thing
in
to
a
tell
week.
him.
Are you fit to marry, George?
I am.
Idiots. Look at what that guy just did. You're all fired.
Do not gawk like a peasant. Behave as though you've been here before.
I thought we were rid of this old ass man. What is this bullshit? Okay, so this is why he went on a walk.
What are you doing?
Disappearing, as evidently the bride has done. I'm not ready, not right.
I have examined you thoroughly, and you are perfectly right.
You have confidence in
Do I look
yourself,
perfectly
brother.
right to you?
You are perfectly right.
Wait, no. He is right.
What? What? Why hit him? What was the point in that?
I am right. I forgot myself. Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah. Next time you do that, though, we're cutting that hand off. Christ, dude. Can't just backhand the king like that. Oh, hello, darling. Nice catch me up.
I did not know a woman could be so beautiful.
Perhaps is she dull?
She is terrifyingly clever. That is the problem. If she were ugly, if she were dull, I might feel myself up to the task. Instead, her brilliance shows the
You are far
shows
inferior.
the soul I am.
Yeah. That's okay, though. I can relate.
Her perfection is matched only by my deformity. She belongs as far from me as she can get.
Will your majesty not be returning to Buckingham House
I
then?
have done as they asked. I married. Now I shall leave her alone. Shall return to my planets, my stars. They at least I can be sure not to harm. Good night, Reynolds.
So he thinks his deficiencies will be spread to her.
Will he be cross with her?
Absolutely. But she is standing up to him. Perhaps this is good.
Perhaps. Perhaps it is bad.
We'll see.
You do not understand because this is who you were born to be.
We've seen this all before.
I do not know a single soul here except for you. I'm completely alone, and you prefer the sky to me. George!
What?
Say something!
You're freaking him out, darling.
I do not want to fight with you.
I want to fight with
He's
you.
getting nervous.
Fight with me. Fight.
for me.
Go!
Charlotte, he thinks he's going to get you sick, darling. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. I do appreciate kind of like the recontextualization. Is that the right word? Of these scenes, showing the true reasoning for why he's so short at the beginning of the season.
I have learned a thing or two about science, and one thing I have learned is
Teach him
this.
about women.
Scientists keep the best of it to themselves. Am I right, Monroe?
You have secrets.
Surely there must be something that you can do. Something to end the
Preventative
fix
care
forever.
is what he's looking for.
I would require rooms in the palace, full access to your majesty at any time, and license to pursue more extreme measures.
Anything. Whatever you have to do, we have the time and privacy of my honeymoon.
My brother in Christ, he's going to tie you to a table and light your brain on fire.
We require solitude. You are dismissed.
My mans, you could kill the king at any time.
You are used to splendor, luxury, comfort. You have never known the salubrious powers of Spartan habits.
Wow.
Again?
Just waterboard this man.
Simple way.
Straight up psychological torture. Hell of a honeymoon. Dude's going through like Marine Corps training. He's gonna become a Navy SEAL.
Unbound, it tests the limits of reason.
Or no, don't.
That is the
Oh,
origin
did I call it, or did I
of your
call it?
fits.
Dude's been going through it.
If you cannot govern yourself, you're not fit to govern others. Do you understand me, boy? In here, you are just another animal in a cage. And just like an animal, I will break you!
Oh! My brother in Christ, he's up. I don't think this is the correct method. Are they leeching him? Ugh. God, yeah.
Is a broken king really better than a mad one?
I do not call it the terrific method for nothing. Terror is its very basis.
Okay, but terrific does not. Those are different things.
The wolves of the German Black Forest were famous. The fiercest in the world.
Wait, is this the dog that he gives to Charlotte?
Where are those wolves now? Through science and force of will, the Germans transformed their wolves into this thing.
Look at how cute it is, though. How about we have this doctor killed instead?
A gesture?
A gesture.
A gesture.
Again.
Hey, quick tip, Georgie. You can breathe more if you don't scream the entire time you're underwater.
Are you questioning the doctor's methods?
Yes. Yeah, he is. Like, super duper doing that. One unfortunate thing also is if it came out that Reynolds was gay, they'd probably do the exact same thing to him.
Why, she is almost as mad as I am.
Yeah, because she's a baddie, and she does what she wants.
A woman like that is too dangerous for a man like me.
She's too dangerous for any man.
Perhaps I could be near her.
That's pretty close. Is she playing chess against herself? The Queen's Gambit, indeed.
She's playing chess with herself. She is mad.
I believe she is lonely, Your Majesty. She is just married, Your Majesty. It is her honeymoon. She may miss her husband.
True facts about the octopus. Oh, just because you lost.
A gesture.
Some token, some sign that she is not really alone, that you shall be with her soon.
Something to be with her until I can be.
Free the dog. Consider this a heist, Reynolds.
Fitting present, no? From my cage to hers. I want the Queen to know we will not be caged forever.
I don't know if that message was translated. I think she just got the dog and was like, what the hell is this?
My dog is missing.
Oh.
It may be that the beast was not so stupid. Lapdog or wolf. Soon enough, an animal tires of its cage. Do you agree, Doctor?
Your Majesty has been spending too much time in the observatory. I do not like the colour of Your Majesty's skin or the colour around his eyes. Inauspicious timing, I'm afraid, as The Dowager Princess has asked me to convey a message to Your Majesty.
They're saying things without saying things. Consummate. What
The Queen
news?
has received your gesture.
Oh. And what did she think of it?
She was not a fan.
She called it a deformed bunny.
You know what? No ice bath. No chair today.
Boy, I command you to stay.
Sorry, Doctor. Today I would rather work on my farm.
He is the king. What you gonna do, man? Dude's kind of cut, though. Not gonna lie. My man's is just a tad bit ripped. I see we're focusing on these muscles. Don't be nervous, Chief. You got this. What's gonna snap him out of it? Her walking in or him? Okay. Good. Nice job, Reynolds. Boys support boys.
Is it all right if I join you for a meal this evening?
A meal. A meal? Are you... A meal?
Yes, he's been working real hard to get to this point, Charlotte. Oh, and then straight to the bony. All right, rad.
It has been abundantly clear since my first breath that I was born for the happiness or misery of a great nation, and consequently must often act contrary to my passions.
Shall I send for the doctor, Your Majesty?
Yes, yes. Get him here.
She will never know. Why do I recognize this song?
Since you moved here, you've not been to the chair once.
Yeah. So?
We risk losing everything we have accomplished.
We...
You don't start back at zero, necessarily.
Anything accomplished for me has been the work of my bride. Her methods have done more for me than you and your chair ever could.
Your Majesty forgets himself. Grow reckless.
He's gonna cut him on purpose. Everything he does wrong.
My entire life in terror of acting incorrectly because
potential
every
ruin of
incorrect
England.
action threatened the ruin of England. But terror nearly broke me. Now, I have met a woman who is never terrified, who does as she pleases. And she is the most royal person I've ever known.
Dang, Skippy. Or did the doctor trigger it?
Monroe, what are you doing here?
I'm preparing this poultice for her now.
Stay away from her.
But, Your Majesty, she came to me. Heard that the King's doctor was here and apparently figured that she should not settle for anything less.
Ooh, yeah, but you're not a doctor. You're a doctor of the mind.
She is with child. Congratulations, Your Majesty.
Interesting. So this is what causes the break. The potential thought maybe that he will spread his sickness to his offspring. It's not an uncommon thought that people who deal with mental illnesses have had. Plus, the idea of having a kid is probably just overwhelming in general. Poor Georgie. With Calculation of wormholes and such.
George, is that you?
Recalculating. Alright, back to present time. How did he get so dirty? I mean, he went out into the into the farm, but he didn't like roll around in any dirt. Man's waking up, feels well rested. He's like, ah, oh, this is a good night. No idea what happened.
The knives at Buckingham House used to be sharp enough. Then, one day, they were all dull.
Oh, so he can't harm himself.
Surely a coincidence, too, that the very same day the windows were sealed shut on the upper floors and suddenly locks everywhere. A library set of Shakespeare was suddenly missing King Lear.
Forgive me.
The one about the Mad King, because the king is mad and I live in a mad house.
The king is not mad. The king is merely exhausted from holding the greatest nation in the world on his shoulders.
Second greatest nation. Rah rah, USA, baby.
If God grant you ever do bear an heir, then you may start to learn, and your first lesson will be this. You would do anything to stop the cracking.
That's fair.
And nothing. You came from nowhere.
This is not something that he should be listening to.
The man I was not allowed to know, for a lie!
Your insolence truly knows no bounds.
She's the queen. She can say whatever the fudge she wants to you.
Your Majesty.
Strap me back
in. Poor guy. Flip. All right, that was a good episode. It was like, I don't know, it was just good to recontextualize everything we've seen up to this point, you know, like, especially in the first, like, episode or two, we were like, dang, why is the king such a dick? Like, why is he freaking out? And then we're kind of shown, like, oh, he's just a little peculiar, and he, you know, part of his mental illness is that he can easily get distracted by things and hyper-focused on things, and that is true, definitely. But a lot of this episode kind of recontextualizes all of that into not just him, like, being hyper-focused on the stars, necessarily, but it recontextualizes the first 3 episodes as this, like, this battle and this fight that he is going through in order to get himself to a spot that he believes he won't, like, infect the queen, or he won't break down in front of the queen, like a spot, you know, a mental spot where he feels he is healed, so to speak. And it's not just like, it wasn't just like a mental fight to get here, it was like he was being tortured like daily. Like this is the stuff that, like, the Navy SEALs go through for training so that they can be mentally and emotionally prepared for anything. Like, they get straight up tortured in that training. And that's kind of what he goes through in this. Also, he gets leeched and you know, all these other things that are just like, have now since been proven to be, like, not medically sound in any way. Like, leeching is not remotely medically good for you. Especially if it's a mental illness. Like, leeching someone is not going to do anything. But yeah, this episode just, it makes, I mean, we were already sympathetic towards the king, right? If anything, this almost made me feel less sympathetic towards the queen and more sympathetic towards the king. Just purely because of her outburst at the end where she's, like, legit pissed and mad and stuff. Granted, she's not mad at him, but, like, she's like, this is a lie. Like she's understandably upset at the whole situation, right? Like, she's like, I was taken from my home. Everything was hidden from me. Like, everything has been a lie up to this point. Like, she's understandably upset by the whole situation. I don't know why, but I feel less empathetic towards her at the moment than I do the king. Because he just was like, I mean, at first he was like, okay, I'm gonna keep myself. Or, well, first he didn't even want to do it. He's like, screw this. Like, I just want to be alone. I just want to rule the kingdom on my own. I'm not some, like, thoroughbred horse who's only here for breeding. Like, a king can rule and enact policies without the like idea of the royal line continuing being like a ever-present thing, right? Like, he's like, I can just be the king and rule, just let me do that. And everyone around him is like, the more you go without having an heir, the less power you will have. And it's like, ugh, fine. But then he finds out what an absolute baddie the queen is. He's like, dang, that is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. Like, I didn't even know women could be that beautiful. Like, why have people been hiding her, like, this whole time? What is this? Why was she not brought to me years ago? And it's like, yeah, she's an attractive lady. She's got a very round nose. I didn't notice that at first. But when they showed her, like, side profile, you know how some people's noses kind of, like, point out a little bit, or, like, I don't know, hers was, like, it was, like, almost a circle at the end. Just interesting little tip. I don't know why I noticed that, but it was just interesting to see. But, yeah, then he's like, okay, she is perfection. Like, she is greatness personified. Like, I need to stay as far away from her because I will infect her with my sickness or my just deficiencies in general. He's like, I'm a troll compared to her. And it's like, dude, I feel it. Every time I talk to an attractive woman, I'm like, I'm a troll. Why am I talking to her? And he's like, even being near her is like rubbing my dirtiness off on her. And it's like, rough. It's rough. But then slowly, he's like, all right, you know what? I actually do want to be with her. Time to just get on the absolute grind and, like, torture myself daily. And the whole time he's got this, like, subtle back and forth with the doctor where the doctor's like, I'm in control. Like, it's almost sadistically, the doctor's like, I'm liking being in control. I can tell you to do whatever I want. He's like, he made a point, like, multiple times to be like, I could cut your throat right now if I wanted to. And then even, like, when the king is starting to feel healthy, he's, like, almost manipulating him back into treatment where, like, he knows some of the things that he's saying will cause a break. You know, I felt like the moment when he's, like, making the poultice or whatever for the queen, when he's like, oh yeah, she's pregnant. Like it felt like the tone of his voice was trying to be like, oh, isn't that a big bombshell to drop on you in the middle of the night? Like, you might be due for a mental breakdown. Like, I don't like the doctor. I liked him at first when he's just, like, shoving it to the other doctors that are like, why don't we just cut his legs off? Like, oh man. But then at the end it was like, bro, that sucks. I wonder what he was making, something for the queen, a poultice. She apparently requested something from him. Was that like a, I don't know, because he said she's pregnant. Was that like a thing to help her in her pregnancy, or was that like a secret juice to end her pregnancy? I'm very curious. I don't think it was the second one because she ended up having like 90 children, but who knows. But yeah, the things did not end in a positive spot right now, so to speak. Like, he, similar to a couple episodes ago where the queen listened in on him arguing with his mother. Now he has listened in on the queen arguing with his mother, and he's left in a spot of like, oh, she doesn't want me. You know, she's furious at being lied to. Like, this whole situation's gonna fail. Like, he's probably gonna internalize that failure on himself more, and it's just, it's not a positive at the moment. Hopefully, though, things improve next episode. That'll be pretty prime. I mean, we only have 2 episodes left after this, so presumably they have to get to a point where they're going to be banging daily because they have 1,000 children they have to make. And in present day, they got to pick an heir or pick a child that will produce an heir, so to speak. And it's just like, there's just lots of obstacles still to come. I think that's all I got to say about this episode, though. Definitely let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. If you enjoyed my reaction, please leave a like. That means a lot to me and helps my videos get seen more. If you're new here or you find yourself coming back often, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider supporting me on Patreon. That is linked in the description down below. Again, sometimes I post these videos a little early on Patreon, so if you're interested in that, consider checking it out. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.